All right, these concepts we're looking at for the scales can be transferred over to chord theory. Now, chord theory is a huge subject, and we don't have time to get into it that deeply. But again, these templates I'll set you up with will get you set up in a way that when you do study the depths of chord theory, then you'll have a reference point to work from. And we know that there's thousands of chord voicings out there, and you see those chord dictionaries, 10,001 chords, and they're like that thick. Well, the reality is you can take any of those chords and see how they lay on top of 5 basic shapes, again, referencing those tonic shapes. And so in that way, we've homogenized a lot of information into a little bit of information, and the brain likes that. That's how we learn things quicker and more thoroughly. So let's take a look at these chord templates. They're going to be 5 major triad shapes, and then we'll take a look at altering them, make them useful in any chord situation that you come across. So here's the first shape, simple bar chord. I'm sure you've seen that chord. It's just, again, doing it in the key of G. We have the 6th string, 3rd fret, 5th string, 5th fret, 4th string, 5th fret, 3rd string, 4th fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret, and 1st string, 3rd fret. I hope you know that chord. Okay, the next chord might not be so familiar. We have the 4th string, 5th fret, the 3rd string, 7th fret, and we're going to use the 2nd finger. We have the 2nd string, 4th finger, 8th fret, and the 1st string, 3rd finger, 7th fret. Next shape is this. It is the 5th string, 4th finger, 10th fret, the 4th string, 3rd finger, 9th fret, the 3rd string, 1st finger, 7th fret, 2nd string, 8th fret, 2nd finger, and 1st string, 1st finger, 7th fret. And then we have up here another one of the basic bar chords. We have the 1st finger, 5th string, 10th fret, 4th string, 3rd finger, 12th fret, 3rd string, 3rd finger, 12th fret, and the 2nd string, 3rd finger, 12th fret. And although this one's a little tough to play in the chord shape, it's nice to know that you've got one of the notes of the chord shape here is right here on the 1st string, 10th fret. So that basic bar chord shape with this extra note. It's a little tough to get for some people, it depends on where you play it, but it's important to note that these chord shapes are templates. They're not really, I'm not showing you chord shapes that, you can certainly use them in songs, but that's not the intent here. It's just mostly seeing where the notes are and being able to grab it with your hand, of course, is part of that understanding. Now, all that being said, prefacing this next chord shape is really kind of an odd one to play for the fingers. It's kind of tough to get, and it's really just a G chord, open G chord, up 12 frets. But that is the chord template for that position and for that tonic shape. And what we have here is the 6th string, 3rd finger, 15th fret, 5th string, 2nd finger, 14th fret, 4th string, 1st finger, 12th fret, 3rd string, 1st finger, 12th fret, 2nd string, 1st finger, 12th fret, and then we have the 1st string, 4th finger, 15th fret. So that's the point I'm trying to make here. These are kind of visual templates. It's not so much about, I'm not showing you chords to use in songs, although of course you can use any of these chords in songs and play them in whatever key you want. You do with some of the shapes. I know you use these shapes regularly. But what we're going to do is take a look at learning the actual notes of each shape. And it's the same thing as the scale templates. You do the same drill, only you're actually dealing with less information. The first chord right here, we have from low to high. The note names are G, D, G, B, D, and G. And then you have the numbers, the chord formula itself is 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, and 1. Second pattern, second chord shape here, you have 1, 5, 1, 3. And that's G, D, G, B. Next chord shape, you have 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. And that's G, B, D, G, and B. Next chord shape you have is 1, 5, 1, 3, and then the 5. So that's G, D, G, B, and D. The last chord shape, that's 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, and 1 again. G, B, D, G, B, and G. All right, so there's the 5 shapes. Now, in the world of chord theory, we have lots of different chord types, but you can distill them down to 3 chord families: major, minor, and dominant seventh. So you would want to have chord templates for each of those 3 families, so you can easily turn these major shapes into minor and dominant seventh. So let me show those to you. The first chord shape, we're going to take the 3, which was here, the B, and we're going to flat it to B flat, and that gives us this chord shape. So we went from major to minor. The fingering for it is pretty straightforward. I have a 3rd fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. I'm just going to go through these quickly here for you because I think you can see how they're just minor alterations of the major triad shapes. Okay, the next one up, we take the B in that shape and move it down 1 fret. And we have this shape. The next chord shape in major was this. And we're going to take the B here and move it down 1 fret. And that gives us this shape here. From low to high, it's just 10th fret, 8th fret, 5th fret, and then the 8th fret again. Okay, this shape right here, I think you know where this is going. This is a pretty common shape here. Major becomes minor. We flatted the 3, B to B flat. So we have 10th fret, 12th fret, 12th fret, 11th fret, and 10th fret. The top one here, we have, this is going to split into kind of 2 chord shapes because it's a little awkward. You can't grab it all at once. But we're going to take the B here and move it down 1 fret to B flat. And we have this shape. Just a 4-note shape. We have 15th fret, 13th fret, 12, and 12. And then the top part of it will split off into this shape. And we have 12th fret, 15th fret, 15th fret, and 15th fret. And what we did there was take the B on the 2nd string from the major shape and move it down 1 fret, but then we moved it over to the same location here and come up with that shape. All right, now we have 5 dominant 7th chord shapes. And again, we're using the major triads shapes that we learned first as kind of reference points. So a major triad is 1, 3, 5. A dominant 7th is 1, 3, 5, flat 7. So we're essentially adding the flat 7 to all the major triad shapes. And in the key of G, that note will be F. So here are the shapes. Again, I'll just kind of quickly go across the strings and what fret they are. I think you can see the fingering. These are pretty common shapes. So we have 3rd fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret, and 3rd fret. We went from major to dominant 7. Next shape is right here. We have 5th fret, 7th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret. And let me say the note names as well: G, D, F, and B. Next shape, start with a major shape here. And we're going to add the F to it. It's going to show up on the 3rd string. Check this out. That shape right there, that's pretty common dominant 7th shape. We have the 10th fret, the 9th fret, the 10th fret, and the 8th fret. G, B, F, and G. Taking this shape here, turning it into this dominant 7th shape. We have 10th fret, 12th fret, 10th fret, 12th fret, 10th fret. G, D, F, B, and D. This final shape here, the major triad chord shape, was this. We're going to split it into 2 smaller shapes just because it's easier to finger and gives you more of a template to work with. We're going to have 15th fret, 14th fret, 15th fret, and 12th fret. Then we have this shape right up here. We have 12th fret, 12th fret, 12th fret, and 13th fret. So G, B, F, and G. And then we have D, G, B, and F. So what you have now, and again, this might be a good thing to write out on paper so you can see it visually, help you get it down under your fingers and in your eyes. You have 3 sets of 5 chord shapes. You have 5 major triad shapes, you have 5 minor triad shapes, and 5 dominant 7th chord shapes. And the reason why these serve you as templates is because any chord you ever learn from here on out can be looked at as being based off of one of those 5 shapes. Now, what do I mean when I say based off of? Well, it's somewhat abstract in the way that you're kind of visualizing something in your mind while you're playing something else. Let me kind of give you some examples. So this chord shape right here, I'm just going to throw out some various chords and show you how they kind of lay across it. Here's a common major 7th voicing. Now that's a common chord in the major family, major 7th, and that just sits right on top of this chord shape. Major 6th voicing, another major 6th voicing, major 13th voicing, major 7th sharp 11. Now these are all kind of involved chords. The point I'm making here is that when you study different chord forms, there's a very basic template that they're all laying across. Let me show you some on each shape here. Here's this major triad shape here, a major 7th, which is right there. So they share a lot of the notes as the templates, and then you start to see kind of the relationships and how notes were altered. We actually already looked at that when I showed you the minor templates and the dominant 7th templates, because we were using the major triad shapes to get there. So that's the concept right there. It's pretty huge. This is kind of like the tip of a very large iceberg. But again, if you put the time in and get these 3 sets of 5 shapes down, then when you study chord theory and you take any chord you go to learn, you'll see how it's always going to fit over one of those 5 shapes.